I like dolls, but I love books. Okay, I love dolls too, you got me. Hello out there, all of you perky little doll-loving book nerds, and welcome to my channel, where my dolls and I sit and talk about books. Sometimes it's Barbie, sometimes it's Illy, sometimes it's Monster High, sometimes it's a Disney princess. Must I really carry on? Because I feel like you get the point. Basically, my dolls and I have our own little book club. My name is Daniel, and I am the Barbie book boy. So when I was a little naive boy of around 7 years old, someone told me that dandelion seeds were fairy food, and that when you would blow on them, you were helping to feed the fairies. Well, I took this very seriously. I reasoned that if I myself ate some of this alleged fairy food, there was a good possibility that I myself would actually turn into a fairy. And what 7-year-old wouldn't want that? I was picturing myself shrunken down to fairy size with wings and magical powers. It was gonna be awesome. So I bounded out to our yard and I began picking dandelion seeds. One after the other, I chomped their little heads off, hoping with each one that I would feel some spark of magic. Realizing that I was much larger than an actual fairy, I figured it was gonna take a higher dose of their food for the magic to start working. So I kept eating and eating and eating until eventually I ate the whole damn yard, and I didn't even feel the slightest tinge of magic. What I did feel was an upset tummy. And when I relayed my activities to the adults, everyone had a hearty laugh at my gullible expense. Of course, the great irony is that I did indeed grow up to be a fairy, just not the kind I was aiming for. And who knows, I mean, they say fairy time works differently, so there's still a chance that the magic might work. I haven't given up hope, or my love of magic and whimsy, which is why I'm excited to discuss today's book, The Moorwitch by Jessica Khoury. And I don't need to tell you that magic books are always more fun with a friend. Especially one who won't laugh at me for eating a yard full of weeds in the hopes of being transformed into a magical flying fairy. And that's the friend we all deserve, I always say. Seriously, use that as a standard by which to measure a person's character, and you will never suffer a fair weather friend again. And my new friend passed the weed eating test of friendship with flying colors. So put your hands together for the Disney Illy Forever Maleficent doll. You guys, her efforts at like dark mistress of evil vibes would be way more effective if she wasn't so stinking adorable. I don't think a villain would wear faux leather. A true villain wouldn't be interested in like cruelty-free fabric choices. Speaking of dragons, don't these sunglasses look absolutely perfect for dragon riding? I mean, she is totally giving dragon rider biker chick who is not to be toyed with, even though she's totally a toy. But her flaming jeans are an iconic statement piece of pure attitude. And don't these chunky platform boots just absolutely scream villainy? And look, a hidden Mickey. The edgy dark tones paired with these like neon colors are totally giving like malicious streetwear vibes. She is not to be messed with. I'm going too pushy. And her second outfit is ready for a runway at the Disney World Fashion Week. Look at these Maleficent horns on her hoodie and on her skirt. Aren't those just the cutest little Maleficent horns you've ever seen? Also, her accessories include a backpack, a purse, and a necklace. You guys, I just love how everything is like a subtle piece of Maleficent's story with horns and dragons. This gal has all the dark confidence required to help me discuss today's book. So let's get into it. Rose Pryor has a complex relationship with her magic. And not just because she never ate a yard full of dandelion seeds, she is what is known as a weaver. And she uses specific patterns that she weaves with like her knitting needles and thread to do spell casting and magic and spell work. And this magical ability is absolutely precious to her. Because for a woman in Victorian England, the choices ain't many. Also, magic totally saved her life once when she was just a wee young thing. You think you're clever, don't you? Anyway, when Rose was a little girl, she used her magic to summon a mysterious fairy named Lachlan to help her escape her abusive aunt's house by striking a deal with him that she would have to pay at a later date. Fast forward to 12 years after making this sketchy deal, Rose is all grown up and she has become a teacher at a school for magical weaving. But it ain't going well. Her magic is on the fritz. And people have totally noticed. Because not only has her magic become unreliable, but every time she weaves a new spell, her magic is slowly and painfully killing her. And of course, Mr. Shady Fairyman Lachlan shows up all these years later to cash in on her loan, right when she's in the midst of all this personal turmoil and pain. Without being given much of a choice, Lachlan whisks her away to some mysterious mystery up on the Scottish moors, where this nefarious fairy has tasked her with locating a secret gateway that leads into the fairy realm. And if she can't make it happen, she'll lose her magic forever. But she doesn't make it very... Wait... Weren't you wearing something different? I thought you had on a skirt. Anyway, she doesn't make it very far into the mission before she bumps into a rugged and prickly laird, that's Scottish for lord, named Conrad. Side note, I totally mentally cast Sam Heughan as Conrad, even though he absolutely does not fit the character description. Don't judge me for Scottish stereotypes. But once he entered my imagination, I immediately replaced my shadowy images of Rose with the actress Katrina Balfe. So this book quickly dissolved into like a bizarre Outlander fan fiction for me. Anyway, Rose weasels her way into Conrad's home called Ravensgate, where she then takes the job of governess to Conrad's baby sister, Sylvie. Because remember, Rose totally gives schoolmarm vibes because she was a teacher back in London after all. So now, Rose finds herself working double time as a governess while secretly trying to locate this mysterious magical gate into the fairy realm. All of this is happening while her feelings for grumpy old Conrad are starting to develop into something complicated and frustrating and rife with the push and pull of gothic romance tension. But she can't get distracted by this brooding laird because her magic is on the line and she is running out of time. And that's basically the story of The Moorwitch by Jessica Khoury. So what are my thoughts? Well, I've only ever been to Scotland in the imagination of books and TV, but as far as I can tell, this book really holds its own. Jessica Khoury's writing is super atmospheric. She paints a picture of the moors that's wild and misty and ancient and completely connected to each and every one of the characters in this book, who themselves each have their own layers of secrets and mystery and magic, which is kind of heartbreaking because every time Rose weaves a spell, you wince in pain right along with her, just knowing that it's killing a little piece of her with each and every effort at spellcasting that she makes. Side note, I don't know anything about sewing or weaving, and I did love the concept of using it to cast spells, but I wouldn't think it a particularly efficient way of casting spells, especially in an emergency, considering how long it takes me to simply thread the eye of a needle. But she makes it work. I don't know. Don't ask me. I'm not a weaver. Anyway, Rose casts her spells with courage, even though she knows it's killing her, because it's just a part of who she is as a person. And she can't face giving it up, so she's willing to make the sacrifice. But that's Rose for you. She's determined, and frankly, it's one of her finer qualities. That and her love of children, which is probably the thing that made her such a wonderful teacher. When it comes to children, I love Rose's perspective on the kiddos in her life. And I loved this quote in particular. Children are more like mirrors, reflecting the attitudes of the adults around them. A lovely emotional thread. Get it? Thread. She's a weaver. Anyway, when Rose is with adventurous, spunky little Sylvie, we get a chance to see the softer, more nurturing side of her, as opposed to her constant frustrating tension with Conrad. Her relationship with Conrad is this perfect blend of magnetic tension and biting barbs and stolen glances. They're each stubbornly clinging to their secrets and their emotional armor, all while trying to ensure that they both keep their respective walls up and their secrets closely guarded. So there you have it, some of my thoughts on The Moorwitch by Jessica Khoury. A glorious gothic tale of gloom and love, a fantastical fairy fantasy of fortitude and fragility, a tender tale of tantalizing tension and textile talent. Thank you so much for watching. My dolls and I are going to be doing these videos weekly, so if this is your thing, then stay tuned. Oh, and while you're here, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Leave a comment for the Illy Maleficent doll. Tell her what you think of her dragon core streetwear chic attire. Share any weaving patterns or sewing patterns with her that you might know. I mean, after all, she is obviously a fashion icon. Give her any dragon training tips or tricks that you might have up your sleeve. Do you happen to know any magic weaving spells or tricks that you would like to share with the group today?